So I recently learned that at Erewhon here in Los Angeles, they are selling a slice of pumpkin pie for $10. This absolutely shocked me. I thought to myself, I can make a pie from scratch with real ingredients for way less than that.
The pumpkin pie recipe I'm sharing with you is made with all natural, good quality ingredients, and the entire pie costs $5.53. I mean, you can't get better than that. So let's get started. We're going to start out by making our homemade pie crust. So in a nice big bowl, I have my all-purpose flour, which costs 26 cents. Into this, I'm going to add in some powdered sugar, which costs 2 cents. And then we're going to add into this a little bit of salt. Salt is very important in pastry, and it's only a smidge, so that costs literally like less than half a cent. Lovely. Next, very important ingredient in pastry, butter, salted butter. All of this butter costs 93 cents. We're going to rub this in with our fingers. You can also use a pastry blender. Once your butter is in, it should resemble coarse breadcrumbs, just like this. Big lumps and small lumps. So to these dry ingredients, we're going to add in our wet. Here I have an egg yolk, which enriches the dough. This was 31 cents. We're going to add a little bit of water in there, which is free. And we're going to whisk those ingredients together. So let's pour that into our dry ingredients. And then just mix it together until it forms a ball. If you feel like it's a little bit dry, you can add a splash more water, but just a little bit. If you've never made your own pie crust before, it is superior to store-bought. It's flaky, it's buttery, you can taste the quality. It's just so much better. So I hope this inspires you to make your own. I'm just going to shape that into a ball. I'm going to wrap it in cling wrap, and then I'm going to pop it into the fridge for at least 30 minutes. You can leave it in for 24 hours if you want. Let it get nice and cold. It'll be much easier to roll afterwards. So once your pastry has chilled, roll it out on a floured surface and line your pie pan, and this is what you end up with. You're not going to believe this. This pie crust altogether cost $1.52, made from scratch with all natural ingredients. And that's pretty shocking considering I checked some store-bought pie crusts, and the Pillsbury pie crust cost $4.24. You could get 3 almost of these pie crusts for 1 Pillsbury pie crust, and I guarantee you the quality is not nearly as good. So we're going to pop this into the fridge right now, let it stay nice and cold, and then we're going to make our filling. So for our filling, we're going to start out with pumpkin puree. This was $1.47 for the can. Sometimes you can find it cheaper. Next, we're going to add in our eggs. 2 eggs, 61 cents. We have our eggs in there because a pumpkin pie is kind of like a pumpkin custard pie, so they are in there to set it. Now we're going to put in a whole can of evaporated milk, $1.22. Next, we're going to add in some brown sugar. I love dark brown sugar because the flavor is so much better. All of that brown sugar is 50 cents. Next, of course, we have to have pumpkin pie spice. Now, this can be a little bit pricey. This was 20 cents for this amount. You can make your own, and I have a recipe on my website, biggerbolderbaking.com, of how you can make that also. And it's pretty cheap to make, and you get a lot. Then lastly, salt, which is a cent. Salt is very important, especially in pie making. And then we're going to whisk all these ingredients together. So what I just showed you are very common ingredients in, a traditional pumpkin pie. And I checked the Erewhon recipe, and its filling is pretty much the exact same. So how they're charging $10 for a slice is beyond me, but now we know. And here I have my pie crust, and just pour in your filling. Not only is it inexpensive to make your own homemade pumpkin pie, but it's easy. The last little step I'm going to do is I'm just going to egg wash the crust to make sure it gets a lovely golden brown. And our homemade pie is ready, so let's get it into the oven. So we're going to bake our pumpkin pie on a preheated tray at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, 220 degrees Celsius for around 15 minutes. Then don't forget to turn down the temperature to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius for roughly 40 minutes or so. We just want that custard to set. If your pastry starts to get too brown, just cover it up so it doesn't continue to get darker. Here we have it, our homemade pumpkin pie. And guess what? It cost in total $5.53. That's absolutely incredible. A fraction of the Erewhon price. And also compared to other store-bought pies, they can be, $8 to $10, and they're not as good quality as this. This pie is really big and it feeds 10 people, which makes each slice 50 5 cents. You cannot beat that for a homemade pie with good quality ingredients made with love. So here we have both pies. Now, we definitely know which one is better value for money, but let's see which one holds up to the taste test. Erewhon tastes good. It's a little bit spicy, a little bit too spicy for my liking. I know I did make this pie, but I have to say it is superior compared to the Erewhon. You cannot argue with making a whole pie for half the price of one slice of pumpkin pie. If you're in the mood for more holiday recipes, then stick around. I have loads of videos for you to check out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you back here again really soon.